Every cruiser tells a story. Some became legends that riders still dream about decades later. Others looked perfect in the showroom and turned into expensive disappointments. Today, we're separating the icons from the imposters as we rank the 7 worst and 9 best cruiser motorcycles of all time. Some choices will probably challenge everything you thought you knew about cruisers, and trust me, by the time we reach number 1 on both lists, you're going to see a few famous names very differently. Let's start with the 7 worst cruisers ever made. Number 7. Yamaha XVZ 1300 Venture Royale. The Venture Royale proves that ambition alone does not guarantee a great motorcycle. When Yamaha unveiled it in the early 1980s, this was supposed to redefine luxury touring. A liquid-cooled 1,294 cubic centimeter V4, shaft drive, electronic cruise control, onboard air suspension, integrated luggage, and even a factory stereo made it feel years ahead of its competition. On paper, it looked like the future. The future, however, eventually became its greatest weakness. Yamaha loaded the Venture Royale with technology that impressed buyers in the showroom, but complicated ownership decades later. Aging electronics, troublesome air suspension components, cruise control hardware, and increasingly scarce replacement parts transformed routine repairs into expensive projects. Ironically, the smooth and dependable V4 engine was rarely the problem. It was everything wrapped around it that tested owners' patience. Today, clean examples usually trade between roughly $2,500 and $6,000, a steep fall for what was once Yamaha's flagship touring machine. Then there was its sheer size. The Venture felt wonderfully planted on the open highway, yet its substantial weight could become intimidating during slow-speed parking lot maneuvers. Even loyal fans admit it demanded confidence in situations where lighter rivals felt effortless. Imagine standing in front of a bike you want, the seller swearing it's perfect. That's where riders overpay by thousands on a $10,000 bike. Our buyer's kit tells you what it's really worth, your fair price, and when to walk away. A wrong bike costs thousands. This kit? Just $49. The easiest money you'll ever save. Scan the QR on the right or tap the link in the description. Let's get that bike you've always wanted for even cheaper. The Venture Royale did not fail because it lacked engineering. It failed because it trusted complexity more than simplicity. And that lesson becomes even more revealing when the next motorcycle shows that sometimes having too little character can be just as damaging as having too much technology. Number 6. Harley-Davidson Street 500. Some motorcycles earn a bad reputation because they break down, others because they ask too much money. The Harley-Davidson Street 500 landed here for a different reason entirely. It wore one of the most recognizable badges in motorcycling, yet never captured the spirit that badge was built upon. When Harley-Davidson introduced the Street 500 in the middle of the 2010s, the strategy seemed impossible to criticize. A liquid-cooled 494 cubic centimeter Revolution X V-twin, approachable ergonomics, and an affordable price were meant to welcome new riders into the Harley family. It was modern, manageable, and easy to ride. Yet buyers expected more than confidence. The Revolution X engine delivered dependable performance, but it lacked the unmistakable pulse, sound, and personality that generations of Harley owners had come to love. Add modest suspension, average highway comfort, and styling that struggled to stand apart, and the Street 500 found itself caught between two worlds. Experienced Harley riders wanted tradition, while newcomers often discovered competing motorcycles that offered stronger value for the money. Today, clean examples generally sell between roughly $3,000 and $5,500. The Street 500 was never a bad motorcycle. It simply forgot that cruisers are purchased with the heart as much as the head. And that disconnect leads us to a machine that committed an entirely different mistake, proving that extraordinary engineering alone cannot guarantee lasting success. Number 5. Honda Rune NRX 1800. The Honda Rune did not arrive as a motorcycle. It arrived as a statement. When Honda unveiled it in the middle of the 2000s, the message was unmistakable. Build the most breathtaking production cruiser the world had ever seen. In that mission, it succeeded beyond question. The problem was everything that came afterward. Powered by a liquid-cooled 1,832 cubic centimeter flat, 6 borrowed from the Goldwing, the Rune delivered effortless torque, remarkable smoothness, and the reliability riders expected from Honda. Its exotic trailing link front suspension, sculpted bodywork, and flawless chrome made it look like a custom motorcycle straight from an international show stage. But beauty came at a staggering price. New examples approached nearly $30,000 while carrying almost 900 pounds ready to ride. Storage was scarce, passenger comfort was limited, and everyday practicality took a back seat to visual drama. Today, surviving examples often sell between $20,000 and $40,000 because collectors prize their rarity, not because they outperform rival cruisers. The Honda Rune proved that a motorcycle can be absolutely gorgeous and still miss the mark. So tell us in the comments, have you ever fallen in love with a bike that made absolutely no sense on paper? We'd love to hear your story because some of the most memorable motorcycles are also the most irrational. The next step forward comes from a completely different kind of excess, one where sheer size and brute force became both the motorcycle's greatest attraction and its biggest liability. Number 4, Kawasaki Vulcan 2000. Some motorcycles chase balance. The Kawasaki Vulcan 2000 chased a record. When it arrived in the middle of the 2000s, it boasted the largest production V-twin ever fitted to a mass-produced motorcycle. Its enormous air-cooled 2,053 cubic centimeter engine delivered effortless torque and an unmistakable presence that few cruisers could match. But the number that sold the motorcycle also became its greatest compromise. And there was no questioning the engine's strength. It was smooth, dependable, and produced enough pulling power to make highway cruising almost effortless. The challenge came from everything required to carry it. Tipping the scales at well over 800 pounds ready to ride, the Vulcan demanded confidence during parking lot maneuvers, tight turns, and stop-and-go traffic. Add thirsty fuel consumption, and costly rear tire replacements and everyday ownership became more demanding than many riders expected. Today, clean examples generally sell between roughly $5,500 and $10,000. The Vulcan 2000 proved that bigger does not always translate into better. Sometimes the pursuit of extremes creates compromises impossible to ignore. And the next motorcycle climbed even higher on this list. Because its biggest obstacle had nothing to do with size, it was convincing riders to embrace something they simply could not understand. Number 3, Victory Vision Tour. The greatest risk in motorcycle design is believing innovation alone can rewrite tradition. Victory learned that lesson the hard way. When the Vision Tour arrived in the late 2000s, it looked nothing like the chrome-laden cruisers riders had known for generations. Every curve, every panel, and every line pointed toward the future. The integrated fairing, sculpted bodywork, and built-in luggage created one of the most distinctive touring motorcycles ever produced. It demanded attention wherever it stopped. Beneath that radical shell lived a dependable heart. The 1,731 cubic centimeter Freedom 106 V-twin delivered strong low-end pull, smooth highway manners, and the kind of reliability owners came to appreciate after thousands of miles. Comfort ranked among the best in its class, making long-distance travel feel almost effortless. Yet motorcycles are purchased with emotion before logic. For many cruiser loyalists, the Vision simply strayed too far from tradition. Riders searching for luxury touring machines kept returning to familiar names backed by decades of heritage, stronger dealer networks, and proven resale value. Victory had engineered an impressive motorcycle, but it could not overcome the hesitation surrounding its unconventional identity. New, the Vision Tour carried a price between roughly $21,000 and $25,000. Today, well-kept examples commonly sell for between $7,000 and $13,000, offering remarkable value for riders willing to look beyond its appearance. Then came the final setback. When Victory disappeared, uncertainty surrounding future parts, dealership support, and long-term ownership only deepened the hesitation many buyers already felt. The Vision Tour never failed because of weak engineering. It failed because the market refused to follow where Victory dared to lead. But the next motorcycle proved something even more surprising. Sometimes building an outstanding machine is exactly what divides the very customers it was meant to satisfy. Number 2, Harley-Davidson V-Rod. Sometimes the greatest engineering success can become the greatest marketing mistake. Few motorcycles proved that better than the Harley-Davidson V-Rod. When Harley-Davidson unveiled the V-Rod in the early 2000s, it represented a dramatic break from everything the brand had built its reputation upon. Developed alongside Porsche engineering, the liquid-cooled Revolution V-twin delivered breathtaking performance by Harley standards. Displacing 1,130 cubic centimeters and later expanding to 1,247, it produced impressive horsepower, revved higher than any traditional Harley engine, and earned a reputation for outstanding reliability. It was fast, refined, and remarkably advanced for its time. Ironically, those achievements became its greatest obstacle. Harley riders had long embraced motorcycles that rumbled at idle, delivered effortless low-end torque, and celebrated mechanical character over outright speed. The V-Rod offered a completely different experience. Its smoother engine note, liquid cooling, and performance-focused personality left many lifelong enthusiasts feeling disconnected from the heritage they expected. New the V-Rod carried a premium price ranging from roughly $17,000 to more than $20,000. Today, clean examples commonly bring between $8,000 and $18,000, with rare editions climbing even higher as collectors finally recognize its significance. The V-Rod was never rejected because it lacked ability. It was rejected because it asked loyal Harley riders to redefine what a Harley should feel like. And if changing identity sparked controversy, the motorcycle waiting next carried expectations so enormous that even a beautiful revival could not escape disappointment. Before we reveal our #1 pick, if you've enjoyed the ride so far, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. We put a lot of effort into digging beyond spec sheets and sales numbers to uncover the stories that explain why some motorcycles become legends and others become cautionary tales. #1, Indian Chief Vintage, early Polaris era. Reviving a legendary name is one thing. Living up to everything that name represents is something else entirely. That is the burden the early Polaris era. Indian Chief Vintage could never completely escape. When Indian returned under Polaris, anticipation reached extraordinary heights. Riders expected more than a beautiful cruiser. They expected the motorcycle that would finally challenge Harley-Davidson at the very top of the American V-twin world. On first impression, it seemed ready. The Thunderstroke 111 engine displaced 1,811 cubic centimeters, delivered effortless torque, and wrapped modern reliability inside timeless American styling. Chrome gleamed, leather saddlebags recalled the past, and every detail celebrated Indian's historic legacy. Yet expectations have a way of raising the finish line. Despite its refined engine and comfortable highway manners, the Chief Vintage carried flagship pricing of roughly $21,000 to nearly $23,000, while tipping the scales at well over 800 pounds ready to ride. Many buyers admired its craftsmanship, but some questioned whether they were paying for groundbreaking capability or simply an unforgettable badge. Today, clean examples generally sell between $11,000 and $17,000. The motorcycle remains dependable and deeply admired, but its early years revealed that heritage alone cannot guarantee satisfaction. The Chief Vintage never suffered from a lack of quality. It struggled beneath the enormous weight of expectation. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of this entire list. The worst cruisers teach a humbling lesson. Big engines, famous badges, and ambitious ideas don't automatically create great motorcycles. Some promised the world and delivered frustration. Others simply never became the machines riders hoped they would be. But every disappointment in cruiser history also makes the next chapter more meaningful. Because now it's time for the motorcycles that earn their legendary status. The hard way, one unforgettable ride at a time. These are the 9 best cruiser motorcycles of all time. #9, Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Classic. Not every great motorcycle earns respect by changing history overnight. Some machines carve out something far more impressive. They spend years quietly proving that when a manufacturer understands exactly what riders need, greatness eventually becomes impossible to ignore. And few cruisers have demonstrated that better than the Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Classic. When Kawasaki introduced this machine in the mid-2000s, the cruiser market had already become brutally competitive. American giants had built their reputations for decades. Japanese manufacturers were fighting for loyal buyers, and standing out had become increasingly difficult. But Kawasaki made a decision that would ultimately define this motorcycle's entire legacy. Instead of chasing bigger horsepower figures or unnecessary complexity, they focused on something riders experience long after showroom excitement disappears: everyday ownership. The liquid-cooled 903 cubic centimeter V-twin delivered smooth low-end torque, predictable acceleration, and the kind of effortless power delivery that immediately made long-distance cruising feel natural. Add the low seat height, relaxed riding position, and famously dependable drivetrain, and riders quickly discovered something increasingly rare in motorcycling, a machine that simply never asked much in return, and perhaps that became its greatest strength. Years passed, miles accumulated, owners kept riding, yet the Vulcan continued earning trust through something far more powerful than marketing hype: consistency. Because sometimes true greatness is not built through revolution. Sometimes it is built by getting nearly everything exactly right. But dependable ownership alone was never enough to shape cruiser history forever, because the next machine did something even harder. It became one of the motorcycles that taught an entire generation what cruiser riding was supposed to feel like. Number 8. Yamaha V-Star 650. Some motorcycles earn admiration through sheer horsepower. Others build something far more valuable over time: trust. And for nearly 2 decades, few cruisers earned that trust more consistently than the Yamaha V-Star 650. When Yamaha introduced this machine in the late 1990s, the company understood a reality many manufacturers kept overlooking. Not every rider wanted bigger engines, intimidating weight, or unnecessary complexity. Many simply wanted a motorcycle that felt honest, dependable, and ready whenever the road called. Its air-cooled 649 cubic centimeter V-twin was never built to dominate drag races. That was never the mission. Instead, Yamaha focused on mechanical simplicity, smooth low-end torque, and effortless ownership that quietly rewarded riders year after year. The enclosed shaft drive only strengthened that formula, eliminating much of the maintenance burden many cruisers still demanded. When production finally ended, its reputation had already been cemented. Today, clean used examples typically trade between roughly $2,500 and $5,000, remaining one of the strongest bargains in cruiser history. But dependable simplicity was only the beginning, because what comes next proved that lasting greatness is sometimes built through decades of earning rider loyalty without ever demanding attention. Number 7. Honda Shadow 750. Some motorcycles become memorable because they impress riders for a moment. Others earn something far more difficult: lasting respect built through decades of proving they can be trusted without hesitation. And few cruisers in modern history have earned that kind of confidence quite like the Honda Shadow 750. When Honda introduced the Shadow family in the early 1980s, cruiser culture was already deeply rooted in American motorcycling, but Honda recognized an opportunity others had failed to fully understand. Riders wanted classic V-twin styling, but they also wanted freedom from constant repairs, mechanical headaches, and unpredictable ownership. That philosophy shaped everything. Its liquid-cooled 745 cubic centimeter V-twin, paired with Honda's famously dependable shaft drive, created a motorcycle built around long-term durability rather than showroom excitement. Season after season, owners discovered something remarkably rare: a cruiser that simply kept going no matter how many miles accumulated beneath it. That reputation still defines its legacy today. Clean used examples regularly sell between roughly $3,000 and $6,500, continuing to attract riders who value peace of mind above everything else. The Shadow 750 perfected dependable cruiser ownership. It asked very little from its owners and gave confidence back in return. But for some riders, dependable eventually starts to feel almost too sensible. They still want comfort and presence, only with a machine that delivers excitement the instant the throttle opens. And that desire brings us to the next chapter, where cruiser character meets muscle bike aggression. Number 6. Suzuki Boulevard M109R. Every once in a while, a manufacturer builds something that completely ignores convention and chooses intimidation instead. That is exactly the territory Suzuki entered when the Boulevard M109R arrived and permanently changed what riders believed a cruiser could become. When Suzuki unveiled this machine in the mid-2000s, most cruisers still followed familiar traditions: big chrome, relaxed performance, predictable handling. But Suzuki had no interest in playing safe. They wanted brute force wrapped inside cruiser styling, and the result felt almost rebellious from the very beginning. At the center sat a monstrous 1,783 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled V-twin, delivering violent low-end torque with acceleration, powerful enough to embarrass motorcycles never meant to lose that battle. Yet beneath all that aggression lived remarkable mechanical durability, with owners routinely pushing massive mileage without major engine concerns. Even today, clean used examples regularly command between roughly $7,000 and $12,000, proving demand has never truly faded. But raw performance is not the only path to greatness in this category. Many riders eventually begin chasing something less aggressive and more timeless. The next answer does not rely on brute force. It became legendary by defining what countless people picture when they hear the word cruiser. Number 5. Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic Softail. Some motorcycles achieve something powerful. They become symbols, machines so deeply connected to the culture of riding that the moment people imagine the open road, this is exactly the kind of motorcycle they see. And few cruisers have embodied that feeling more completely than the Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic Softail. When Harley-Davidson introduced the Heritage in the late 1980s, the mission was never simply building transportation. This motorcycle was created to preserve the spirit of old American motorcycling while quietly blending in the comfort riders increasingly demanded for serious miles on the highway. Everything about it reflected that purpose. The unmistakable V-twin pulse, classic styling, long-distance comfort, and the famous Softail chassis all combined to create an experience. Riders formed genuine emotional attachments to for decades. Even now, well-maintained used examples typically command anywhere between roughly $8,000 and $20,000, proving its appeal has never weakened. So far, we've seen cruisers become disappointments because they were too complicated, too expensive, or simply misunderstood. We've also seen others earn legendary status by getting the fundamentals exactly right. Now tell us in the comments which bike on today's list has shocked you the most. And while you're there, like the video and subscribe because the biggest names in cruiser history are still waiting ahead. The Heritage Classic perfected the traditional American cruiser formula. It delivered comfort, nostalgia, and the kind of emotional connection that never seems to go out of style. Yet cruiser history also has its rebels. There were riders who respected tradition, but still wondered what would happen if someone injected superbike energy into this laid-back world. The next machine is the answer to that question. Number 4. Yamaha VMAX. When the Yamaha VMAX exploded onto the motorcycle world in the mid-1980s, it did something almost nobody thought possible. It forced riders to completely rethink what a cruiser motorcycle could become. Until that moment, cruisers had always followed familiar traditions, comfortable ergonomics, relaxed acceleration, predictable road manners, but Yamaha had no interest in tradition. They wanted something radically different, a machine-carrying cruiser DNA, while unleashing performance brutal enough to shock the entire industry. At the center lived a monstrous liquid-cooled V4 power plant paired with the now famous V-Boost system, delivering a violent surge of acceleration riders still talk about decades later. The experience felt less like twisting a throttle and more like releasing something mechanical that desperately wanted to break free. Even now, well-preserved used examples typically sell between roughly $5,000 and $18,000. Reflecting the cult following this machine still commands worldwide. The VMAX permanently changed expectations by proving a cruiser could accelerate with shocking violence. It became a cult icon because nothing else delivered power in quite the same way. But speed alone has limits. Eventually, riders start searching for something deeper, something rooted in heritage, identity, and a connection to motorcycling's earliest legends. And that next direction leads us toward one of the most storied names ever to wear a fuel tank badge. Number 3. Indian Chief. For decades, many riders believed the Indian Chief belonged only to history, remembered through faded photographs and stories from another era. Then, against enormous expectations, it returned. Not as a tribute or a marketing exercise, but as a motorcycle worthy of carrying one of the most respected names in American motorcycling. That remarkable resurrection is exactly why the Indian Chief claims the number 3 position on this countdown. When Polaris unveiled the all-new Chief in 2014, the pressure was immense. Reviving a legendary badge demanded far more than beautiful styling. It required a machine capable of standing beside the very best American cruisers without relying on nostalgia alone. Fortunately, Indian understood the assignment. At the center of the motorcycle sits the Thunderstroke 111, a massive air-cooled V-twin delivering effortless torque exactly where cruiser riders want it. Every cooling fin, every sculpted rocker cover, and every carefully concealed modern component was designed to honor Indian's heritage while embracing present-day engineering. The result feels unmistakably classic without sacrificing refinement. That engine is the Chief's defining masterpiece. It delivers strong, relaxed power, a smooth 6-speed transmission, and the confidence of proven long-term reliability. Combined with a low-maintenance belt drive, it rewards owners with countless miles instead of constant repairs. Many examples have comfortably surpassed 100,000 miles with little more than routine servicing. Brand new models typically range from roughly $15,000 to well over $24,000, while clean used examples commonly sell between $10,000 and $23,000, making the Chief an attainable premium cruiser for riders seeking lasting value. The greatest victory was not bringing back a famous motorcycle. It was restoring the trust that name once carried. The Indian Chief proved that heritage means very little unless it is backed by genuine engineering, and few modern cruisers have earned that respect more completely. The modern Chief succeeded because it respected history while embracing modern engineering. It reminded riders that authenticity still matters in an age of technology. But even authenticity leaves one challenge unsolved. What happens when your idea of freedom is not a Sunday ride or a short highway run, but crossing entire states and continents in complete comfort? The next step forward answers that question more convincingly than almost any motorcycle ever built. Number 2, Honda Goldwing. When Honda introduced the Goldwing in the mid-1970s, it challenged convention from the very beginning. Instead of relying on a rumbling V-twin, Honda engineered a liquid-cooled flat engine built for endless miles. That philosophy reached its peak with the magnificent Flat 6, a power plant that delivers silky smooth acceleration, remarkable balance, and enough low-end torque to make even the longest highway stretches feel almost effortless. The heart of the Goldwing is unquestionably that Flat 6 engine. Its low center of gravity disguises the motorcycle's size, while its refined design produces almost no vibration. Few engines have earned such an unmatched reputation for durability, with countless owners surpassing 200,000 and even 300,000 miles using little more than routine maintenance. Beyond the engine, Honda transformed touring into an experience rather than simply a ride. Features such as cruise control, premium audio, heated seating, advanced suspension, and the available dual-clutch transmission made crossing entire states feel almost effortless. Yet despite its luxury, the Goldwing never sacrificed the bulletproof reliability that made Honda famous. A brand new Goldwing typically starts around $25,000, while clean used examples generally range from $4,000 to nearly $30,000, depending on generation and condition. The Goldwing established itself as the benchmark for comfort and long-distance luxury. It may be the finest motorcycle ever built for devouring endless miles. Yet the greatest cruiser of all time cannot be measured by comfort alone. It has to shape culture, welcome generations of new riders, inspire customization, and remain relevant decade after decade. And that final answer does not live in luxury. It lives in a machine that became motorcycling's universal canvas. Number 1, Harley-Davidson Sportster. Every great countdown ends with one motorcycle that rises above horsepower, price tags, and specifications. A machine that did not simply influence cruiser history, it became cruiser history. That motorcycle is the Harley-Davidson Sportster. Since its arrival in the late 1950s, the Sportster has introduced countless riders to motorcycling. It has served as a first bike, a lifelong companion, a race winner, and the foundation for more custom builds than perhaps any motorcycle ever created. Few machines have remained so relevant while staying true to their original spirit. The heart of its legacy is the Evolution V-twin. Simple, air-cooled, and built to last, it earned a reputation for dependable everyday riding while delivering the unmistakable pulse that made the Sportster instantly recognizable. With routine maintenance, many owners have logged well beyond 100,000 miles, proving that durability could coexist with personality. Equally important was its versatility. Whether transformed into a bobber, chopper, tracker, or stripped-down cruiser, the Sportster became a blank canvas that reflected the rider more than the factory. No two were ever quite the same. Brand new Sportster models begin at roughly $17,000, while well-kept Evolution-powered examples typically range from about $3,500 to $15,000. The Sportster did not become the greatest cruiser because it was the fastest or the most luxurious. It earned the top spot because it shaped generations of riders, inspired an entire customization culture, and became one of the most recognizable motorcycles the world has ever known. And that is the thing about cruisers. The legends are not always the ones with the biggest engines or the loudest reputations. They are the motorcycles riders trusted enough to keep, personalize, and remember long after the ride ended. But this countdown is only one stop on our journey through the motorcycle world. The next video explores another side of riding filled with surprising machines, unexpected stories, and opinions that might completely change your perspective. Click the next video to continue the road trip. Join our tribe by subscribing, and do not forget to like this video.